It's Thursday, May 9. Good afternoon, I'm Herman Green with your midday news. A special welcome if you're watching online at onespotmedia.com. The family of Kevron Burrell, the civilian who was killed during the controversial police chase, crash and shooting on Old Harbor Road in St. Catherine, is upset about how his post-mortem was handled. His father is raising several questions as he feels the autopsy report is not telling the full story of his son's demise.
Am I right? I'm wrong, but my instinct tell me say something I cook up.
Michael Burrell, the father of Kevron Burrell, is livid after receiving the results of an autopsy done on his son's body. Kevron was killed after the vehicle he was driving collided with a vehicle driven by police officers during a controversial chase on Old Harbor Road in St. Catherine last month. Michael Burrell says he was at the scene and saw what happened after the collision, and so believes the autopsy results is suspicious.
Police went over to his window and shoot him. You understand me? My next son hospitalized because of gun fractures in his head. His girlfriend Farid gunshot, and yet still the autopsy, the piece of paper does show say blunt to his head and neck.
The autopsy was done at the Spanish Town Hospital in St. Catherine, and the report handed to him at the Spanish Town police station. He says with no direct mention of the bullet wounds or of them contributing to his son's death, the family doesn't believe there will be any justice for his killing.
Every day I go on my bed, I wake up with it, because I know how him dead. Me see how him dead. You understand me? It can't be like that. You understand me? The autopsy shows them take gunshot from him, you know. The autopsy shows them get gunshot and the type of gun will shoot him. But yet still it is not on the report. Multiple gunshot wound, and this is blunt to head and neck. It not tell me what caused the death. You understand me? If him neck even broke, it not show me by impact or what caused the death. You understand me? I would really like this thing come over with.
He says he has been contacting the authorities, including Indicom, but says he has not been given any definitive answers except that the investigation is still ongoing.
Now, I want justice. You understand me? And Jamaica people not for wait. This them for use this as a stepping stone. Don't wait until it comes to your child. You know what I mean? Yeah, because this is coming like a heights of corruption. You understand me? And I can't believe the Minister of Security, the Police Commissioner, and the government to hide this. This is not right. Nobody come to me. None of them are here on the news or anything, say anything about Kevron Burrell. This poor youth will come from foreign to his family death, funeral, and then was murdered along the way. And nobody is just like, they want to just jump over the hurdle. No, we need answers.
The family is now calling on human rights bodies for assistance. He's also considering an independent autopsy as he insists that that's the only way the family will get closure. Herman Green.
The Prospect Police in St. Mary are seeking the public's assistance in identifying the body of a man that was found on Tuesday morning. Information received is that shortly after 6 o'clock, a neighbor was visiting a friend on Carsarina Way in Tower Isles when he stumbled upon the body. The body was found clad in a red, white, and black shirt, gray pants, and black shoes. It was found face down in a pool of blood. The cause of death is still unknown. With the recent spate of violent crimes in sections of St. Thomas, an operation by the Yalas police has resulted in several men being now in police custody. The exact number of detainees has not been confirmed, but they are from 4 areas: Logwood, Bransbury, Lloyds, and Stamp Road in the parish. The police operation follows recent shooting incidents. On the weekend, gunmen went on a rampage, shooting 4 persons who were playing dominoes in the community of Logwood. 3 persons were injured while the other person managed to escape. Following that shooting in Logwood, a taxi operator and his daughter were attacked by gunmen in Lloyd's district, Yalas. The father was shot and killed while his daughter was seriously injured after he was alerted to a fire at the front door of his home. While he tried to put out the blaze, he was attacked and killed. During the course of the day, another fire was set to a house in a neighboring community of Barnsbury. No one was injured in that incident. A strong warning has come from the new commanding officer for Trelawney that criminal elements which are fleeing from the states of public emergency imposed in Westmoreland, Hanover, and St. James will not be tolerated in the parish.
St. James would have been hit hard by the impact of lotto scamming activities. That would have resulted in an increased emphasis by law enforcement on the actors in this scheme. As a result, we believe, and we have evidence to show, that a number of these criminal suspects have left the space and have entered into our space here in Trelawney.
It's why he's calling on the various authorities or stakeholders to join forces to protect the parish.
It's not going to be the job of the police only. Business people, community members, justice of the peace, pastors, you must realize that the best way to prevent an escalation in violence is to prevent the first one from happening.
Indiscipline on the nation's roads continues to be a major sore point for the authorities. They believe that it's the main contributor to an increase in road fatalities. According to the Road Safety Unit, there has been 161 deaths on the country's roads to date. It's also a major issue for Prime Minister Andrew Holness. Speaking recently, Mr. Holness suggested that the indiscipline is not due to a lack of enforcement by members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Data from the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch shows that over 40,000 tickets have been issued for traffic violations. But Mr. Holness says the carnage on the road is not only by public passenger vehicles.
Even though they are pointed out more often than not, but generally there is a level of indiscipline on the road. And we are horrified that very often the safety of road users take a back seat to getting the next passenger or getting to where I want to go.
He also expressed concern about the rate of motorcycle deaths. There have been 50 since the start of the year.
Fatalities resulting from motorcycles, motorbikes. It is disturbing. And many of those who are dying are young adults just leaving the legally defined age of a child.
The Meteorological Service of Jamaica says the water crisis currently being experienced in sections of the island may get worse based on rainfall projections. In the corporate area, water levels at two major catchment facilities continue to decline despite supply restrictions imposed by National Water Commission (NWC) more than a week ago. On Wednesday, the NWC reported that the Mona Reservoir was at 29.1% of capacity, while the Hermitage Dam was at 30.3%. The NWC says since supply restrictions were imposed, the rate of decline at both facilities has been slower than in previous weeks. But Director of the Meteorological Service, Evan Thompson, says previous projections for higher than normal rainfall in May may not materialize. He says the projections have been revised.
What is projected is just about normal. We don't expect that it would be significantly above normal. That would allow us to have sufficient water to take us through the drier periods of the year or the dry period of the summer months, going through July and August. So it's likely that we will see an increase during May, but then as we move into the middle of the summer, we're likely to see it decreasing again, and it may get worse if we don't get enough rainfall in May.
Our news center has learned that 90 of the 450 supply systems operated by the NWC are now affected by drought. With an excess in mango production so far this year, there are now urgent appeals for the Agriculture Ministry to step in and help in the reduction of the wastage of the fruit. TVJ's O'Shane Masters tells us more.
Calls are being echoed this afternoon for the Agriculture Ministry to fast-track plans to deal with the glut of mangoes, especially in South Manchester. The calls come despite the Agriculture Minister Audley Shaw pointing out that the Jamaican government and the International Development Bank, IDB, have started discussions on a new program that will boost agricultural production. The minister at the start of the year had explained that a $150 million bridging project will fund the establishment of 2 additional agro-parks and facilitate the government's mango export plan. But the farmers in South Manchester are adamant that things need to be done now.
It is my concern that government should build some factory or some cooling house to produce it and to keep them that can go to other use. Too much of this fruit would be at ear time, rotten on the tree.
I think there's a lack of engagement with members from the communities where the mangoes are being wasted. The Ministry of Agriculture and RADA and the Jamaica Agricultural Society, they need to reach out to these communities.
According to Earl Powell, a farmer in South Manchester, the issue is not only with mangoes, but with other produce as well.
The Minister of Agriculture need to look into these things and do something about it. Too long with dragging our feet, and these things can put to better use.
President of the Manchester Association of Branch Societies, Jones Oliphant, is also imploring the government to fulfill its promise of establishing an agro-processing plant to deal with the surplus of fruits, especially mangoes, at this time of the year.
There should be a processing factory for these vegetables and fresh fruits. But up to today, that is just lip service. Nothing has been done concrete as to what will be done with this mango season that is coming up.
In the meantime, criticisms have also been laid against the ministry in relation to the formulation of the policy, which has to do with the exportation of mangoes.
What the Minister of Agriculture has done was to, crafted a policy which would help the country in such a way that mangoes that would have tended to be wasted would be shipped or exported out of Jamaica. But based on how the policy is not working, it seems as if it cannot cover all the mangoes that are going to waste, right? So something more needs to be done. A comprehensive plan needs to be initiated.
O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
And still on agriculture, former president of the New Forest Agro Park in Manchester, Conrad Murray, is asking for serious attention to be given to farmers who suffered from the infestation of the beet army worm. Mr. Murray says some farmers are still struggling with loan payments and legal matters due to the losses.
The farmers could still use some help from any agency because they have lost significantly because they have borrowed money at a higher rate at 13%. To produce for particular producers, and they have lost out a lot. And it's a pretty serious situation where they will even appreciate that somebody from someplace could sit with them and offer them a way out. I'm a member of this group for over 19 years, and we have worked to have all of these facilities put in place. We labor night, we toil night and day, and now they are here. Would like to see it utilize the best of our ability in assisting the farmer in processing and so that they can earn maximum dollars for their produce.
And we go down to sports in football. A number of players will be queuing up to get the attention of coach Theodore Tapper Whitmore ahead of the CONCACAF Gold Cup. A 25-member squad is now in training at the UWI JFF Captain Horace Burrell Technical Center.
Within a few weeks' time, several of these players will know if they'll be a part of the squad going to the Gold Cup. For that to be done, they must impress the coaching staff who will be looking overseas for additional members. One of the names that may have jumped out at you is Tashane Campbell of FC Reno. Campbell is a 23-year-old defender and a former Garvey Maceo student who's receiving his first call-up.
Well, I know I have the ability and the work has put in, so this is the way to show it. It's a great thing right now. Just push me more to play football and represent the country with all my best.
And getting the chance to play for Jamaica would help to restore some pride for the Reno family.
Well, Reno based overall structure of the team was not pretty much satisfied, so it's all based upon me right now to just lift back the club to where the higher heights, where Westmoreland would want to see us.
Also looking to make a breakthrough is centre-back Casey Reid from Manchester, England, who has a grandfather in Clarendon. Reid, who is currently without a club, was invited after he caught the eye of a Jamaican scout while playing in Hong Kong.
I think I've impressed the right people at the right time. He was a man from the JFF in Hong Kong, must have impressed him, done the right things.
The 21-year-old says he didn't choose Jamaica because he sees an easy passage, but more so a chance to represent the country of his heritage.
My family's from here. It's been here, coming here since I was a kid. It's who I wanted to represent and who I've chosen it, so I'm going to stand by. I had opportunities for other teams, but no, I chose Jamaica, and Jamaica chose me, so definitely. I'm happy with my choice, and hopefully I have a future here as well.
And there is also a Johnny Talbot, another defender. This is the second call-up for him, but with the Gold Cup just a few weeks away, this one is even more special.
This is very important to me and my career. It's a push to bigger and better things. I'm here just to put in work and to reap results from it and see if I could be a part of the 23-man squad.
Jamaica will kick off their Gold Cup campaign on June 17 against Honduras at the National Stadium. Jordan Fort, TVJ Sports.
And that's the midday news. I'm Herman Green. Remember, primetime news is at 7. On behalf of the entire team, good afternoon.